Selection, the show about newsy type stuff and things. My name is George,
My name is Tom.
And my name is Adam.
and with our powers combined, we are Unnatural Selection. Make sure you visit us at our salubrious home on the web, unnaturalshow.com. Unnatural Selection, it's a podcast about the news that never stops, never stopping, except for when it occasionally stops.
Once every so often,
Every so often it does stop
we can't do a show.
before resuming. Yeah.
I never leave. I just
You've been
sit
here the whole
What?
time.
and I just wait for the next episode to start. I cease being whenever we are not recording.
I'm
I
Tom
just go
Heath, and
into
I've
this-
been here the whole time.
I just go into this void state. It's like being alive but not.
Oh, yeah, a kind of liminal space between life and death where everything's...
It's honestly really, really peaceful. It helps with the burnout.
Honestly, it sounds pretty good. Sounds like a rest. Can I get some of this liminal between places unreality? Are they doling that out? Is that a extra subscription tier on the Calm app, perhaps?
Oh, no, it's only available with YouTube Premium.
No, I'm not paying for that. I'm not paying for that. That's a rip-off.
Oh, damn.
That's a rip-off. I'll just get the Brave browser. I'm not paying, so you don't show me ads. It's ridiculous. Okay, so
Here on Natural Selection, you won't get any ads because we're
you won't get any ads
Yeah.
because no one wants to sponsor us.
Yeah, you won't get any ads because no one wants to sponsor us, and also because who would be saying yes? Give me the ads, please. Which is kind of the thinking that the government is trying to take when it comes to gambling reform.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Gambling advertising reform.
15 years in the business, the man's a goddamn it's longer than that. 16.
Yeah.
16? 20? When did we start doing this? Fuck.
You've ruined it. You've actually
You've
ruined
derailed
the,
the
whole
bit.
No,
You're
it's
praising how
fine.
good
I
was
think
at
it's important we
segueing.
figure this out. So we started this in 2010.
Yeah.
So it'll 16 years.
I was 22, 21.
And so filled with life and cum.
Yeah.
And what's happened?
I ran out of cum. I don't know.
He ran out of cum.
Oh boy.
That's the problem. Same amount of life, but just nowhere near as much cum. And we've broken Adam.
Yeah,
He's
we've already
done.
got Adam to stand up and walk away from the microphone. That's usually how you know it's a good night.
He's laughing, but he might be crying. So, Tom, you're going to tell us about
Yeah,
the gambling
so-
reforms.
Yeah, so obviously there's been a lot of rumbling for a while now of like the Labor government, Albanese government has been like wanting to do something about gambling ads. There was rumblings for a while of like they're gonna ban gambling advertising, and everyone freaked the fuck out. Like, one side going, yes, great, gambling's terrible, and others being like, but the investors.
Won't
like,
somebody think of the shareholders?
Yeah, well, someone think of the shareholders and comedians who need work between festival seasons and being in sports bet ads.
I cannot
yeah.
stand, like, as someone who has no interest in sports, gambling advertising is especially galling to me because it's like I don't even get the sports advertising. I just get the gambling ads. Like, clearly I fall into... You are a male between, I was going to say 18 to 35, 35 to 50 now. You're a male between the ages of 35 to 50. You need sports gambling ads. Like, the
Yeah.
internet has just, we know nothing else about you. And if that's all we know about you, then you need to know how to do a fucking three-way multi. Ladbrokes.
Have you
Ladbrokes. Fucking
have you ever
sports bet.
won a
Go, you
three-leg
good thing. Go, you
multi?
good thing. Why the fuck am I getting these ads? Constantly, everywhere. I can't stop them.
Three-leg multis, it's literally...
Did you know that you could fucking stop socializing with your friends and look at your phone and fucking do a three-way multi in the middle of a fucking game? Did you know how
You
fucking
can-
fast it is to do a fucking four-way tip stops?
You also bet with friends. Isn't that fun?
Wow, bet with friends.
And you can tell the advertising's working.
Socialize the
These
contagion.
are all slogans that we have been fed over
Yeah.
the last several years.
I'm totally
about
only
this.
aware of the concept of a same game multi from the ads. I don't understand what it is, but it's clearly it's entered the lexicon.
in one game,
No, don't.
you
Adam,
can have
you're confusing this for a request.
multiple bets
Don't care.
that, if they all happen, have a greater payout. but they're
Get-
also
yeah.
less likely to happen.
Yes,
because
well,
there
that's
are
why.
multiple bets.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I see.
and now you're talking
Well-
about maths, and now you got me back. Okay, now we're talking about statistics.
Well-
I want to get
Now I'm
some
interested again.
probabilities. That's how they
and,
get.
and this is how they screwed the working class. And I'm back in, baby. I'm back in.
Well, George, you might be happy given, as you.
I'm never
were
happy,
saying
Tom.
Before. That's fair, but you were getting pummeled with these ads. Well, Labor and the coalition have a solution for you because they've
They
teamed
don't,
up.
though.
They've
Yeah.
teamed up.
Sort
They-
of.
you know, the sort of teamed up
Cursed.
again to push through. Essentially, the TLDR is that you can opt out of getting gambling ads.
Except,
Online.
Yeah, online.
how are they going to fucking make this work? Because I get gambling ads everywhere. I get gambling ads in my
Yeah.
podcast. I get gambling ads in my fucking Instagram or whatever. I get gambling ads. You know, there's no possible way that they would be able to, track the programmatic podcast ads that I'm getting in my feed and stopping them based on my
Yeah.
email address. It's just not possible, right?
It has the same. It has all the same gusto and ignorance as the social media ban. That they're
Oh yeah,
like,
just put
we
your
will
just put your
decide-
email on this fucking website and
Yeah.
you'll be right, mate. Like you should
Yeah.
be right.
Yeah, they have decided. Hey, people should be able to say no. I want no gambling ads, and all these companies are just gonna figure it out.
Okay.
And we will, if they don't do it, we will write them a very angry letter asking for money, and they will sue us into oblivion. Like, you know, these big tech companies that have more cash than probably fucking our entire GDP.
I just don't understand, and this was being discussed, why it can't be an opt-in register. And the only reason that I can think of is that because the
No one
gambling
would.
companies would be really pissed about it. If you had to opt in to receive gambling ads,
'Cause
no one would do it.
would.
No
Yeah.
one would do it. So there was this great book several years ago called Nudge by Richard Thaler and Cass Sunstein, I believe it was, Nobel Prize-winning economists. And it's all about the little things that you can do to sort of, in a way that's, positively paternalistic, guide people towards outcomes that are better for them based on choice design, right? So if you create a form in a certain way, you can drive people to choices that are better for them, right? They
gotcha.
still have the choice, but you can sort of nudge them in a direction that's better for them.
The
And
illusion
one
of
of the
free will.
examples, sorry, say again.
The illusion of free will.
Well, yes, kind of, yeah. But these are the guys doing it for good, supposedly. And you can see how
Until
the
they aren't.
gambling, how the people of the gambling companies would take this research and then use it to augment their, death engines in a slightly more effective way. But the idea, one of the things that they used was the example of opting in or opting out of organ donation. So if you need to proactively opt into organ donation, there's something like a 25% uptake rate. If you need to proactively opt out of organ donation, it's like a 70 or 80% uptake rate. Because people just go, oh yeah, that's fine, I guess. If I can't be bothered going and doing a whole thing to take myself off the list, that kind of makes me a shit bloke if I'm going out of my way to take myself off the list. But conversely, if you're wanting to put yourself on the list, you got to go to a website, you got to register, you get a card, you got to have the card in your wallet. It's like a thing that you need to know about. And now, when you get to the hospital, maybe your family goes, oh, I never said anything about being an organ donor to
Yeah.
me. I'm going to keep those organs. Whereas if the societal default is
You are one. Yeah.
you are one, unless you say otherwise specifically, it then puts the onus on everyone else. So I think you're going to see that with gambling ads. It's like, well, I hate gambling ads. Am I going to make sure to be an extra special good boy and go to the government special website and put my email address in and make sure that I'm not getting the gambling ads? Like,
So
Probably not.
There's a bit of context here.
just use an ad blocker.
There's an existing system they have in place, which is basically if someone has a gambling addiction and they're trying to stop themselves, gambling.
Are you telling me the little disclaimer at the end of the gambling ad isn't doing for
No.
them? Oh, what
No.
are you really gambling with? Hey, come
So
on
you
down
can-
to Gambles R Us and take a 4-way multi in a 3-way hit job. And you're like, what are you really gambling with? Like, I'm so confused by this fucking commercial that I'm getting served both sides of at the same time.
So there are exclusion lists that you can already sign up to, which basically means that it's not so much for advertising, but it's for like signing up to a platform. So you can't, if you put yourself on the exclusion list, you can't then go and then sign up to the TAB again and put bets down it that you'll be blocked from it for a certain period of time, right?
It's people trying to block themselves from going back to
so
these services.
it's kind of seen as an extension of that, although the logistics of it are more, the difficulties will actually be more around, okay, so there's a central register of people that are opting out of gambling ads. So, but the gambling ads are being paid for through third parties such as websites, YouTube, whatever
Data
else.
brokers.
Yeah, your Facebook,
Data brokers.
your whatever.
How do we ensure that, how are they practically going to ensure that someone is not
They
served
can't.
with an ad, through these platforms? And they can't.
Especially when you go into
the
like,
short answer.
other kinds of digital media which are not targeted. Banner ads.
Because it assumes,
And
it
like
assumes
so some
that-
of this stuff follows you around with cookies, or it's just like demographics, right? It just goes, oh, the only thing we know about this customer is that he's 35 years old, he's a male, and he's looking at this page about hockey. So let's show him a fucking gambling ad.
Yeah.
Like, it's really not that smart. Doesn't necessarily know specific. It's George, and this is George's email. It's just a cookie of a random user that they're
The
picking
register,
up, right?
the register is meant to be using email addresses, but that assumes that you've signed in to whatever website you're looking at, right?
And you've got the same fucking email address across all your services.
It's
You never had two email addresses for anything ever.
or I guess you can, sign up and
Yeah.
put multiple emails on the list. But so this is just one part of the gambling reform package, which has actually passed Parliament now with
Great.
bipartisan support between Labor and
We did it.
the coalition.
This is what the review
This
wanted.
is-
Exactly this.
This is despite the opposition, not opposite, David Pocock and some other senators, the Greens, were not quite happy with it. That doesn't go far enough. The other things that and there's multiple aspects to this. So the banning yourself from online advertising is one of them. The other one is that there won't be public advertising for betting during sporting events between, I think it's like 5:30 and 8:30 p.m. But after 8:30 p.m, fair game.
Don't a lot of sport games take place after 8:30
Yeah,
p.m.?
they do. Yep.
So if kids are watching the fucking sport games, they're going to see the gambling ads if that's when they're on.
It's fairly dumb.
Wasn't the
there's
whole
also-
intention initially to ban gambling advertising in general? Isn't
Yes.
that where we started
So
with
this
this?
is
Cool.
started with a report called what was it? It's gone. You win some, you lose some. Report that was conducted by the late MP Peter Murphy, and that did call for a complete ban on
The Murphy report, that's
on
right.
advertising during games, basically, and just generally, I think in the
And so
public realm.
what Labor's done is they've taken that great idea that shows how the modern sports and media environment has been utterly corrupted by this flow of gambling money that only exists because it predates on people's lives and, like a vampire, sucks the marrow from their very bones and causes all manner of societal ills. And their response is to say, oh, but like, maybe you can sign up to a special list.
well,
Down
the
a little.
Don't
The
you want
issue
a
is-
magic list?
is economically speaking, the major sporting codes, whether they be AFL, NRL, cricket, a large part of their revenue and their bottom line is predicated on sports gambling advertising. And if you transition to other forms of sports which are deeply tied with gambling, such as horse racing,
Yes.
darts, I don't know, boxing, like there are some
we-
other sports.
We've never had any organized crime issues with those specific
No.
industries that I could think of. Horse racing and boxing, yes.
But my point being is that these are sports that, rely on, like they would not be profitable to some extent without, gambling.
I don't know. I think they'd be fine with their
So-
fucking McDonald's ads and their fucking hungry. I don't know. These are multi-billion-dollar. I know why they don't want it because yes, it would be a big chunk off their bottom line. But if you're telling me that Australia can't have AFL without Ladbrokes, then I don't know. Maybe it's not a good fucking business.
I think-
if the only way it can continue to exist is to be a predator on millions of people and ruin their lives every year. I don't know. I just think gambling's fucking evil, man. Like to its very core, I think the entire purpose of the industry is to separate sad, poor people from money they do not have in order to ruin their lives for profit. Like it is like tobacco. It's like the just pure evil as far as I'm concerned.
I mean, I don't disagree. I'm just saying there are some very heavy leveraged interests
Yes.
in this.
Yeah,
But and my point
especially-
is though, fuck them. Fuck them. They're evil.
Yeah. It's hard to argue with the fuck 'em clause.
Yeah. I think you'll find under clause 18F subsection B, fuck them.
Yeah,
Fuck
so
'em.
it's
But obviously, Labor. I don't know. Some donors have been whispering in Anthony Albanese's ear in between, melon jokes.
I'm sure the major sporting codes have, as I've just said, have probably been lobbying pretty hard.
I mean, they must have
were you
been
gonna
lobbying
say?
hard
What were
because
you gonna say,
both
Tom?
the Liberals and the Greens and David Pocock, they're nominally getting bipartisan support to pass this. They have passed it, but no one except Labor is happy about it. Like everyone is unhappy about this in some way or another. And I guess that's Labor's cue to go, see, we're making everyone unhappy, so that must
Yeah.
mean we're doing a good Labor job. Straight
gonna
down the
say-
middle, boys.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's a Labour policy upsetting everyone.
Yes.
Yeah, no, sorry. What I was going to say before was just tacking onto George's explanation of gambling being evil. It's sort of even more particularly so with just these smartphone apps that you have on you all the time. Like previously, when this was, you had to be in a literal certain place to be able to partake in gambling. You had to be at a bookies, you had to be in a casino, you had to be whatever.
You had to
But now-
physically exchange cash, right?
yeah, you had to. So, and that's where it made it sort of easier. Those services you were talking about before, Adam, of that people can opt in to be getting help to not be engaging with these sorts of things. People could try to be preventing you from going to those establishments. But if it's just the device that we all use all the time that is tied into so many things that we do, it can also be used for gambling. It just makes it harder and more insidious.
If you've got an alcohol addiction, you can avoid going to the pub. You can not go to places where alcohol is served. If you are a man in your 30s or 40s and you exist on the internet and you have a phone, it is not possible for you to avoid gambling advertising. That's what's so insidious about it. If I'm addicted to hentai tentacle porn, I don't have to go on the internet, right? Well, you have to go.
Weird.
But
A
you-
weird
you
example
avoid-
that you went with, George.
For instance. For instance,
Thinking off the top of the dome.
just off the top of my head, just say I'm really into feet.
Yeah.
You
If
avoid
your
going to the
problem is
places.
specifically, your busty stepmother is stuck in a washing machine.
Yeah,
I'm just thinking of random examples.
and so you're able to avoid going to the places where the thing that you're addicted to is. And that's just not the case with online gambling, as you say, Tom, because it's in your pocket. You can literally just...
I mean, the online gambling being in your pocket probably also means that the hentai pornography is also in your pocket at all
yeah, but you
times,
also can't watch that on the train.
It's
you know?
rarely being advertised to you on the train.
Yeah,
I mean, that'd be a cold day in hell, I think, when we're getting graphic pornography ads.
It's just like the AFL can't survive without spicy waifus. Like, it's just not possible.
So
I mean, I think it's good that they have passed it. The only thing I would say is that it's been 1,100 days since that report
the Murphy
came
report
out in 2023, and they've only just come to a compromise now. So
yeah, they've just come to a compromise that kind of doesn't satisfy anybody and has been also hugely hyped. That report gained such an increase in hype and pedigree because of the fact that it was a Labour MP who has since passed away. So it's sort of now the legacy of one of their own. With all that pressure and to just do this, it's hugely disappointing. I mean, I personally agree with David Pocock. It doesn't go far enough.
Yes.
if you're wanting to achieve what the Murphy Report was.
Yeah, well, you're
trying
assuming
to
they're
achieve.
wanting to achieve it, which they're not. Obviously, they're
Yeah,
not wanting to achieve it.
No.
They're wanting to look as though they're doing something whilst not pissing off their donors too much.
Yeah.
Speaking of looking like they're doing something, the Australian government over the last year has made a change with the way it assesses the funding for in-home aged care.
For the
And you'll be
better, I
pleased to
hope.
know, it's now much more generous.
They fixed it.
And they fixed it. And they did a
Sorted
great
it.
job. And it's so good. Well
So
done,
good.
government.
It's so good that four
Everybody,
corners of-
everybody give a
Yes,
hand to the government. Good job, guys. They did it. They finally did something right.
nailed it. It's so good that Four Corners had to do a little investigative report on it, and as it turns out,
To find out that it was too good.
it was too good. It was just, they've gone too hard, too fast. The dwarves dug too deep and greedily, whatever they.
Too greedily and too deep.
So, why did they make a change to the way in-home aged care funding was assessed? There was one of the promises that Labor made was that they were going to wind back or try to limit the amount of growth in aged care spending, basically. So
Ah!
there is currently a system, or there used to be a system, which has been adapted, where you would have an in-home care clinician come in and assess you as an individual as to what your needs are, and then therefore the government would then make a funding assessment off the back of that. The concept here is to keep people in their own homes rather than all just going by default to an aged care home, right?
Yeah, it's obviously much cheaper for the government to spend a couple $100 a week sending someone round
Yeah.
who can help you do things than it would be for them to spend thousands of dollars a month to have you in an aged care
Yeah.
home. So it's better for people because it recognizes their circumstances and meets them where they are, allows them to retain as much autonomy for as long as possible, and obviously saves the government money as well. So at-home care is a good thing, and we should be giving more dollars to it because every dollar that we give to it is several more dollars that we don't have to give to an aged care home, which is probably increasingly privatized and for profit and going to put people in little fucking slumlord-like conditions.
Yeah. So there is a thing that they use to assess the needs called an integrated assessment tool. Now, what Four Corners has found is the algorithm that runs out the back of this integrated assessment tool, based on the advice of a university professor, is not very good, as it turns out. So the concept is a clinician will go in, they'll do the assessment, and they'll answer. It's like 500 questions, some of which are yes, no, 1 to 5, and some of them are free text, right? Where you give context. What the
So to be clear, though, the clinician-based system was preferable, right? That's how it was before. What it's moving to increasingly now is more of an algorithmic-based assessment.
Well, I don't know exactly how it was assessed before. There were still clinicians that would go and do your assessment, but then as to how that then tied to funding, I don't.
It was
exactly know.
yeah. I don't know what it was
Bit of a-
before. It
bit of a
sounds
black box.
it sounds like it was maybe more of a qualitative assessment rather
Correct.
than, Beryl's a 9 out of 10 on the frailty matrix or something.
Yeah.
Like
And that's effectively what it is. So they'll work out what your needs are. It all sounds very good. It's like a workflow that you put
looks
together
great on the slideshow.
in
I don't know why
Copilot.
everyone's
Looks
mad.
great.
Someone put together a slideshow in Copilot. It looked fucking incredible.
Looks great. But like what the algorithm sort of does is it puts things like one after the other sequentially. So for instance, how much care do you how much support do you need a week, and then it'll leave questions like, what are your cognitive impairments? What are your
The compounding
how mobile
factors.
Are you? Compounding factors, correct, are left to the end, and you may and they are selected and they are part of the algorithm and potentially determining how much funding you might get, but
They're so far down the decision tree that they actually may not make
Don't really
much of a
have-
difference one way or the other, right?
Correct. And there are tiers of funding, right? So, you might yeah, sure, maybe it might move the needle a little bit, but you're not going to get to the next tier of funding based on the way this algorithm is set up. So this university professor, her last name's Eager, Kathy Eager, she's had a look at this and believes that they need to redo this whole formula. Because it's just not fit for purpose. Not only that, but the questions, the 500 questions that are there, they're not all getting sampled. Some questions are just there for like, I don't know, shits and giggles, basically, I guess. Like
today, 500 questions, and they do this. Someone goes over and asks all these. That's days of.
It's like probably a couple of hour appointment. Like it's not, you know.
Oh,
and I'm assuming some of them would
questions.
be tiered questions, like if yes, go to B.
Yeah, that's why I'd certainly hope
you know.
so. That's what I was thinking. I certainly hope you're not asking 500 questions and not one less.
But it was described as a tick and flick. So the quote from one of the women profiled in this article says she would ask the question and then tap away on the laptop. Jan said it was tick and flick. It doesn't sound like the kind of, in-depth clinical assessment that one would expect to receive from a medical provider, for example.
The thing that I think is that, like, from what I've read in this article, it sounds like there is information there. It's just not being put together, like it's not being synthesized properly, and it also even
need to get the bloody AIs in there, get bloody Claude on them. Get bloody Claude on them, mate. Bloody Claude will sort it out, mate.
Jeez.
But examples that there are free text fields that aren't even being used for the final decision. So, in terms of the impact of this,
it's like why is it there? If you,
the government's
go on.
Or the government's trying to limit how much extra funding is being dished out, because what they realised was there was funding being allocated and spent that wasn't actually getting necessarily used. So
Great. So so you saved money. Congrats.
Well,
there you go. You saved $4 billion. If it wasn't spent, great.
I don't know whether it was. I think it was still spent though, which is the funny thing, leading to a surplus of $4 billion unspent funds. So I don't know whether they mean that it was spent but then used in other ways, or whether it was like just held back in.
I read that as in $4 billion was allocated, but then not actually used for anything. So they're saying, oh, well, if there's all this unspent funding, then that must mean that there's savings to be made. Let's cut it to the bone.
And I guess they probably think that they can reallocate that maybe to other goods and services that the government provides.
Yes, like submarines and whatnot. And F-16 jet. Jet components to Israel.
If all these old people were reclassified as submarines, they'd be funding them out the arse.
Oh, bro. She's 96-year-old submarine fucking goes off. She's just got $1 billion. Professor Eager said the algorithm was also statistically flawed because at one branch in the decision tree, a single point in a person's score could mean they gained or lost almost $40,000 a year in funding. Like... Yeah, and essentially the thrust of what this professor says is that the previous version of how this was administered was done by a consultancy and was more or less thought to be pretty good. And this version, which was largely done in-house by the department.
And is algorithmic.
By people, and is algorithmic and is a very technical, sort of redesign of this program, is in fact... not very good, because it has been designed and put together by civil servants who are not technical algorithmic software experts, and thus is a pile of dog shit.
Oh God, are we about to be going to bat for consultants?
I mean,
no. So to be clear, what they're saying is the algorithm was designed by consultants, but the version used.
Currently.
The original algorithm was designed by consultants.
Private consultants designed the original algorithm, but the version used today was finalized and validated by public servants in the Department of Health and Aging. According to Professor Eager, that is why there are so many problems. They should never have been asked to do a job that is so technically sophisticated, she said. It is beyond what you should expect a generic public servant to ever do.
Generic, ouch.
But the way I read that was, again, this is the thing with this article, is that I took that to mean that the original version of this revision was done by consultants and then, I guess, rubber stamped and tweaked by the
socialized, and then they got commentary and feedback, which was
but
integrated by the
maybe they
department.
mean that the previous operating.
Well, there would have
version
had to have been some sort of decision tree, some sort of matrix
Yeah.
for how you classify people and what level of care they
Yeah.
need and that sort of stuff. But it seems like the previous iteration of this was a little bit more in an individual, and their
Needs-based.
assessment of you had more sway over the final
nuance,
outcome. You could make a
yeah.
qualitative assessment, which would actually make a difference. Whereas this is like,
Number don't math.
yeah. We're just gonna like put it through the fucking algorithm, and then savings will come out the other end, and the old people will get turned into chum.
Yeah, how many old points do you have?
Yeah.
We just assign money based on that.
So
Crazy.
the
like a
department
video game
maintains
entry where you're like designing your character, and you like get more older and wizened as fucking age points get assigned to you. Like,
the department maintains that the algorithm is functioning correctly and that it has been tested on more than 200,000 assessments from 2024 to 2025 to ensure it achieves reliable outcomes and consistent care. Now, you
government
can do
finds government good. Don't worry about it. You know how you're thinking about it? Don't fucking think about it. You'll never get old. Never gonna fucking die.
You can do an appeal by where you write in and say, I don't like the outcome. And apparently about 1,000 people have asked for reviews. And that is a 6-fold increase on requests for review from the 2024-2025 year. Of the 900 reviewed, so 1,000 people asked for reviews, 900 were reviewed, 207 were successful.
This, to be clear, I know we're making light of this because it's like evil, but the idea that this is the system, it's just a flaw in the system, right? It's being compared to RoboDev. It's just a bad system. If we could just fucking tweak the algorithm right, if we just tweak the fucking algorithm right, we'll be able to fucking get onto the perfect fucking solution. If we just get the fucking algorithm absolutely fucking we just need to get the fucking algorithm right. We're just going to need to fucking swing away at the fucking algorithm. It's going to be fucking perfect, mate. You're going to get so many fucking algorithms in there, they're not going to know what the fuck to do with it. It's not about getting the algorithm right. This is not the system malfunctioning. This is the system working exactly as fucking intended, which is to stop people or prevent people entirely from getting the support that they need. Right?
So that they can spend less money on it.
Yes, exactly right. The aim is spend less money, and whether you get a reduced level of care or whether you get no care is not an accidental byproduct of this process. It is the intended purpose. It is, we are going to make the system so Byzantine and so fucking difficult and labyrinthian to navigate. You think 96-year-old fucking Beryl is going to be filling out her own fucking appeals? The multiple stages of fucking appeals to the algorithm, which then goes through to a secondary algorithm, no doubt, and says, let's look at it again and see if it's...
Which is run by Claude, probably.
Yeah. Let's automate that as well. We'll automate everything.
And I know you said the fix isn't about fixing the algorithm, but Aged Care Minister Sam Ray has flagged that they are going to have a look at the algorithm and see if they can fix it.
Isn't it great to see, like, towards like that paragraph you read out before, Adam, of that the department maintains that the algorithm is functioning correctly. Having a paragraph like that, like at the end of this
after
long article,
a 20-fold increase. Here's all the ways, and this is absolutely fucking cooked in ways that you never would have imagined it could be. The department says it's working great. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
A 20-fold increase in complaints. And they're like, yeah, it's fine. What is it, a 0.5% error rate? That's fine. That error rate is my fucking nonna, Malaka. That error rate is a person with a life, okay? It's not just... oh, it's a reasonable threshold for errors are going to happen, and that's what the algorithm's for. And maybe Beryl loses her support until she can get it back, and maybe that fucks her life up for months or years. Maybe she never recovers because of that support that she was supposed to get that she now doesn't get. And guess what? Now she needs to go into a fucking nursing home, and that's going to be even more expensive to the public budget if she's living on fucking hospice care in a hospital for 6 months that she didn't need to do if she just had the right fucking support. But that comes out of somebody else's budget, so it's not my fucking problem. Fuck them.
Yeah.
Mr. Ray said the government would legislate a new assessment escalation pathway.
No one thought about the escalation pathway.
Of decisions
More
were necessary.
algorithm! More algorithm!
The
Solves the
department-
algorithm!
The department has confirmed the May budget had committed funding to review and refine the algorithm.
Look.
Here's an idea. What you need is a meat algorithm, right? You get a human person to sit down and ask questions and then make a judgment using their human brains and medical expertise as to how much support this person needs, and then give them that. I call it the meat algorithm.
Well, the original computers.
The
were
original
people.
computer.
Yeah, they were people.
It's a novel idea. It may not scale, but it might be crazy enough to fucking work.
I love a new assessment escalation pathway is the interwoven metal structures
Oh my
of
God.
this story. Like
It's the story
your
is giving me
algorithm-
cancer.
yeah.
I'm listening to the story and I'm feeling the cancer develop.
Like, yeah, this computer's algorithm is absolutely cooked. But no, it's not a cooked algorithm. It is an assessment escalation pathway. Like,
We'll be
how
talking
many
about this in 2
stupid
years.
buzzwords can we throw in?
I just don't understand. Like, I understand the need to modernize things and to have government work more efficiently. I do. I get all of that. I really do. There is an argument there that a lot of stuff gets wasted, in government that doesn't need to. But
Submarines.
Sorry, say again.
Submarines.
Submarines.
Say,
A lot of
yeah.
waste.
Yeah,
lot of waste.
I could
There's
fix
always
their budget problem.
Yeah. A lot of money in the banana stand for submarines. But
Yeah.
I understand that there's things that could be made more efficient, that could be made better, that could be modernized. I get that. But it's never, none of this is ever done with a view to actually making people's lives better. This, robo-debt, other examples, it's all about just shaving a bit of money off the budget. And at the end of the day, when you hollow out all of these government services to such an extent, to shave a little bit here, shave a little bit there, after 20, 30, 40, 50 years of this, what you end up with is a state that is completely hollowed out and supine and unable to deliver the services of government in a way that actually improves people's lives. The labyrinth and navigating the labyrinth is the purpose of the system. The system exists to perpetuate itself and doesn't actually deliver anything. And yeah, no wonder everyone is fucking pissed off about the cost of living, about the cost of everything, about services. Nothing fucking works. Everything's getting worse. And they go, oh, but we just need to shave 3.75% off the fucking year-on-year growth of this fucking thing. And this guy from McKinsey told me it'd be a fucking good idea. His nose was covered in a mysterious white powder, but he seemed to really be very excited and enthusiastic about what he was talking about. He showed me some fucking projections you would not fucking believe, mate.
Well, if you like the system, Coles and Woolies have been testing a new system.
Testing.
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 They haven't trialed it.
It's not a trial, it's a test.
It's a test.
And you might argue, what's the fucking difference between a trial and a test? I would argue there is none.
Yeah, I guess.
So, Tom, what are they doing?
I'm testing it so that I can never use it.
From a project management-y sort of perspective, I guess a test is when some dipshit like me just goes, all right, I've built a thing or I've developed a thing. Let's just see, does it do what I want it to do? But that would be like I'd test it on myself. Whilst a trial, you've rolled it out at scale to a certain degree. And I see why they're making the distinction, but I agree. It's sort of it still doesn't change how fucking scary this is. So all right, what
are they testing?
What are they testing? Facial recognition technology.
Cool.
Fun.
Yes, we've talked about this sort of previously when companies like Bunnings and all that got hauled before the courts for breaching people's privacy as to whether or not they usage of facial recognition.
Nah, Malaka, it's fine. We put a fucking sign on the window there. We put a fucking sign that said we come fucking take your face. You come into the store for a fucking hammer, we can have your face.
They won. They won that.
They won. They won.
Yeah.
It's fine, apparently.
Yeah, they won
There's
that,
a
so it's
sign
all
on the
good.
door that says, I own your biometrics now. It's fine. We don't live in hell. Shut up.
No, not at all. So, the Australia Financial Review reported that Coles and Woolworths, so this isn't just one of them's doing something sketchy. Both the big major players have trialed the technology, according to the Australian Financial Review. Although, as we said before, Coles said specifically that it was a test, not a trial.
Not a trial. That's why we set up all these cameras. Because
Yeah.
we're not going to use it.
The spokesperson made the distinction between the use of the term test and trial, saying Coles has not done a trial using this technology. A small, one-off, controlled proof of concept test of the technology was undertaken, which did not use customer or team member information. So,
And tell me what a proof of concept is. It's to prove the concept so you can do nothing with it?
trial it.
No.
and then
No,
do
Tom.
more.
No, we don't use that T word.
No, not that T word. We use the
We don't
trial.
use the word trial.
Build it, deploy it.
Build it. Shut up.
Yeah.
Push. Commit and push.
Yeah. So, and then they followed that up by saying, no decision has been made about the deployment of facial recognition technology.
Yeah, we're going to take a quick strategic pause and see how mad people get about
Yeah,
this before we
yeah.
say, yes, we absolutely, definitely want this.
Yeah, we also want to see, are the others doing it too?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
if we're both doing it, then we can just both do it.
It's like a nuclear arms race. Like if the other guy's doing it, you have to do it too.
Well,
I mean,
it's
we
one
have
of
to
those
do it
things
too,
where
yeah.
it's like,
Mutually
if
swords.
so, Coles is kind of looking at Woolies like, and Woolies looking at Coles like, are we doing this? Like,
do you
if
want
you
us?
jump, I jump. Like, let's fucking go, bro. Let's
yeah.
do
Are
this,
you-
man. Because if we
are
both
you-
go, where are they going to go? IGA, Franklin's doesn't fucking exist.
Yeah.
Aldi, all the bananas look rotten.
Yeah, like, are you dropping the price of Tim Tams? I'm dropping the price of Tim Tams. You,
Yeah.
Are we
Are you gonna? Were you gonna? Because I was gonna. Were you
gonna
gonna?
do that? I
Are we
know you
doing-
were gonna do it. I'm looking at this through Palantir and just like scanning everything you're doing. I knew you were gonna drop the price of Tim Tams.
So,
Are we
so
doing
what's
this?
the-
Are we
what's
doing
the-
this? Is this crazy? I feel like weird about it. Like,
Yeah.
are we doing this?
Why are you naked? The so the reason why they're doing this is allegedly to clamp down on basically theft.
Yep, theft
retail
and
theft.
employee safety. is
Employee
sort of the other one. Yeah, so it's like the kind of
Shut
I
the
would-
fuck up. Theft. Fuck off. If people are having to steal food, you know what I think we should do? Let them. Because they're fucking obviously hungry.
Well,
I was just
survey
going to
of-
apologize to all our any neurodiverse listeners for the very loud sounds that George just blared into
stop,
your
please
ear
stop.
holes at absolutely zero notice.
I'd also like to point out as well that there was a
All these-
survey of 3,000 workers last year, so retail workers. 34% of them said they did not feel safe in their workplace. 88% experienced verbal abuse. 25% experienced
And
physical
why-
abuse,
and why,
19%
pray tell?
experienced
George,
sexual
George,
harassment,
George.
11%
George.
experienced online abuse. 10% had been spat on. 31% had experienced ethnicity, race, cultural background related abuse or harassment, and 59% had been abused by the same customer more than once.
I'm not
So-
denying that people shouldn't be abused in the place that they work, that people deserve to feel safe. I would simply ask the question, why? Why is all of a sudden all of these people started being so much more abusive to staff at Coles and Woolies? Do you think it might have something to do with the fact that we're in a cost of living crisis and people are feeling incredibly pressured and desperate? And sometimes they might get so desperate, in fact, that they might try and steal food to put food on the table for the people for whom that they are responsible, right? I think this is like evidence of our society fucking falling apart. And they go, we're just trying to keep our staff safe. So that's why we got to put all the razors behind the glass. And it's like,
retail, violence, abuse, theft has been on the increase. Now there's been a few reports about it for the last number of years. Now, is that related to the cost of living stuff? Potentially, yes. It is.
people who are not desperate are not getting angry at a clerk at Coles over the size of a fucking sweet potato. Okay,
Yeah.
if you're happy and fed, you're not doing crazy shit like this. You know, sort of
the bigger
stealing from
question I've
supermarkets
got
and stuff.
is like, okay, facial recognition. So I guess that's the way. They haven't exactly described exactly how they would deploy this.
Yeah,
or
and
how
what
they would
were
use it.
trialing.
It's not been in sort of
Testing.
discussed
They
in
weren't
great
trialing, they were
detail.
testing. They were
Sorry,
testing, Tom.
Testing. Like, I guess the assumption is you have a camera at the front door. You scan someone's face as they walk in.
I love that you think it's one camera
and
rather than a
then-
fucking panopticon of cameras down every
Sure,
aisle.
a panopticon of cameras, and then I'm assuming at some point an alarm, if it gets a facial recognition match, an alarm goes off.
Which we all know is a
Security-
which we all know is a
Security
perfect
is
technology, which we all know is a perfect technology with a 0% error rate, facial recognition technology, which definitely doesn't have biases built into it for people of color based on the training data that gets used to train these models. We both
George,
know
that's
that there's
why
no
they're-
fucking way that some random black guy is going to get confused with another random black guy and get ejected from Coles and isn't going to be able to go and buy his fucking groceries because Coles decided this guy is a criminal because it can't tell this guy from a fucking other guy. Even
That's
if
why
a
they're
guy is a
testing it.
criminal.
That's why they're testing it. That's why
Yeah.
they're testing it.
Yeah, this is
because they
why
wanna
we
make
test
sure.
it.
Even if you are a criminal who is stealing from Coles, so what, you're banned from stores for life
Coles.
then? So where do you get your fucking food? If you're banned from Coles and you're banned from Woolies, and that's 90% of the fucking market, like, like food and groceries are not negotiable. These are necessities that people need in order to survive. So I don't, like, you might be a criminal. You still need to eat. That is a
no,
human
George-
right that you have.
George, we are now going down the path of, the government just wants prisoners to die.
Yeah. We just
Well-
want people we don't like in society to die so Coles can save 0.3% on its fucking wastage margins.
I don't know if the government's got anything to do with it. I think it's literally just Coles and Woolies. But
The government's
I think,
not stopping them, Adam.
No. Well,
this
not
is the
yet.
point.
Yeah.
Not
They're
yet.
not stopping them yet, and also,
'Cause
yeah,
it's just been a
cost of
test.
living,
Just a
all
test.
that sort of stuff.
Just a test. That's why we put these $5,000 cameras, 20 of them at the entrance of this fucking shopping center,
mean-
because we're going to do nothing with this.
To be really clear, the supermarkets are using AI and image-based recognition already with
Yeah.
your groceries, right? Like they.
Oh,
you
for
put-
sure.
You put the banana on the scale, and then
it
says
recognizes it's a banana.
it's a banana, right?
Yeah.
They scan your face at the register. So if something
And
does
you
happen-
scan your Woolies rewards card, and they know everything about your shop.
Yeah.
They know how often you shop. They
Yeah.
know what you buy. They know based on the food that you get. Are you a vegetarian? Do you have a dog? Do you have a cat?
Yeah.
They know so much about you that I know in the UK at least. I don't know about here in Australia, but the Sainsbury's and Tesco, the data that they collect on you is so valuable that they will turn around, package it up, and then sell it to political parties for the purposes of influencing your vote. Okay, well, if you get tofu, you're probably not going to be a Tory voter, right? Like, it really is,
Yeah.
you know, that
It's a
granular in terms of...
panopticon of big data.
And we go, I got my Woolies rewards points. I got $10 off my shop. It's like, meanwhile, they raised the price by fucking...
You and accents this week.
They raised
It's
the
a Monday
fucking...
night.
They raised the
so
prices by $15 and you're excited because you got a $10 discount and all you had to do was sell your fucking data to
To Sportsbet.
Palantir.
Yeah. So anyway, it's trial, but given the big data game, it's already at play with the major supermarkets. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what happens if they do take the next step with this and deploy it in some way. Again, I don't know exactly how they would use it.
Who
I'm
wants
assuming
this? Who wants this other than 3 grocery executives? Nobody fucking wants this.
Yeah.
If you ran a poll and said, do you want to be not just physically observed by cameras, do you want to have your face scanned and then kept in perpetuity by Coles and Woolworths, stored against a profile that we have of you forever? Do you want that? Yes or no? It'd be like 99.995% people saying, fuck no, absolutely not. And the only people who said yes would be the grocery executives' fucking family because it's making them rich. What the fuck are you talking? Everyone would say no to that, bro. Are you kidding me?
That's exactly what we were talking about before with the gambling ads, that it's an opt-out system because no one would opt in. In fact, actually, not even in the rundown, but George, are we streaming on Twitch right now? As well as-
Yes, we are.
Oh, okay, great. Because did you know that like Twitch is enabling that like everything streaming on their website will be training their AI thing, and it's an opt-out because and like a higher up in Twitch said this was no one would opt in if we
Yes.
made it opt in.
Right.
So we
That's
made
our
it
point.
opt out. He said
Who wants this?
out loud. Like he that was his justification. He was comfortable saying it. So yeah, because no one would opt in if it was an opt in. Like if you were choosing, yes, I'm happy for my face to be recognized against my Woolworths profile or whatever when I go shopping. No one would say yes to it, right?
It's like you go to your local. It's like you go to your local cafe, and you say to the barista, "Why are you slipping a little bit of piss into every coffee without telling anyone?" And they go, "Well, if I told them, they'd all say no." And it's like,
Yeah.
right, they're your customers, though. Why are you doing this to them?
Yeah, why are you doing this to them? Well, the piss makes the coffee better.
Well, I save 5 cents per bag of beans if I get to slip a little bit of piss in there, so I end out a little bit ahead. So it makes it all worth it, doesn't
George,
it?
don't put it publicly. Baristas will take you up on that. So the other thing, just to note, like in practice, again, I'm like, how is the system going to be used? For any
Ethically.
violent offender or shoplifter that goes into a retail store, from when I worked in retail, it was common practice for them to literally keep a book with the security footage of those individuals that were known to be bad.
Well, I'm sure it's a
actors.
spreadsheet now or something. Yeah.
Well, no, like it was a photograph, so you
Back-
could go
back
when
then in
that
the Dark
person walks
Ages,
in.
yes,
No. But I'm saying like
Yeah.
there is already an image-based record with CCTV of this is what.
But
Karen
do you see
looks
the difference
like
between
when Karen? but listen,
Karen
listen,
can't come
listen.
here
George,
versus
yes.
Karen,
Listen,
Karen
shut
can't
up.
buy oranges anywhere.
This is my point. In practice, I don't know what the value of this is actually, even if they wanted to implement it, because what's the difference between like someone recognizing that Crazy Bob's rocked back up again and them getting a 10-second maybe advantage through some weird AI
Because it's not,
alert
Adam,
system?
it's not about staff
There's-
safety. It never was. It was about making sure you don't steal the fucking razor blades, which are
Right.
$45 a pop. That's all it's about.
But my
is
point being
shrinking
is
the wastage margin.
Bob can still steal the razor blades because by the time this system takes effect and you notify someone to be able to stop Bob from taking the razor blades, it's actually probably no different than if you just had an existing digital record of this is what Bob looks like.
Well,
Like the thing is because the thing is like at the moment it's all retroactive, right? So something bad happens, we get the CCTV footage, we know, don't let that person back in again. What they're saying here is we're proactively going to scan everyone and we'll put it into the database. But like,
So it's more for like the next time Bob walks in.
yeah, but
we
they're
know you were the
already
guy
going to do that.
stole-
They're
But-
already
Yeah.
doing
But you're
that.
assuming
is my
that there's
point.
people sitting there eagle-eyed watching the cameras, and now they don't need to pay the wage for that guy because that guy is a fucking computer.
yeah,
Well,
but see,
Still going to have security to try and get Bob out of the store by that point, because by that point Bob's already walked in.
See, this is where I think it's going to be. I'm going to be careful here because, full disclosure, I work for a retailer. And to my knowledge, we are not doing this. I don't want that to come back to bite me later. To my knowledge, we are not doing this. But the usage they could have with this technology is if they're scanning everyone's faces under the guise of this is for safety, theft, whatever, is that then, along with the rollout of electronic ticketing in a lot of stores, where you see instead of paper ticketing and all that, you got those little digital screens that kind of, I've seen them in Woolies. I don't know if Coles do them or whatever, but they look like ticket prices in there. There are versions of those electronic tickets that can be triggered and updated based on proximity. So while the benefit of those you can see is that changing prices on all your products is just
Oh,
an
personalized
IT
pricing.
system.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
That's
so
a real
bringing
thing.
the whole thing of personalized pricing, like on a website, obviously it's super easy to do because you're logged into your session and it's all just there or whatever. But then bringing it into while you are walking around the store. So while I, Tom, am walking past the Uncle Toby's Oats and they've algorithmically determined that a price that I accept for oats is higher than George.
Yeah.
They'll put the ticket at one price for me as I approach it, which they'll know by my facial recognition, even if I don't have my phone with me or whatever for Bluetooth or the thing. And then when George goes past it, they'll give him the price they know George buys the oats at. And so, yeah, I think
George only needs
it's opening the door to
a 30-cent discount in order to buy this, whereas like Tom needs a 50-cent discount to buy this,
Yeah.
and so it's all under. And I know, like they are already doing personalized pricing, or they're trying.
I've heard
to.
of this kind of technology and its capabilities and things like that. That's why I bring up before, like, to my knowledge, the retailer I work for is not doing that. But it's like it opens the door to being able to do that, right? Like,
not just that,
can be
but then
trialing all this facial recognition under the guise of safety. And then, oh, but look, and now we've rolled out the implementation that allows us to do this.
But guess what? Guess who doesn't need a fucking loyalty card now anymore? Because we've got all your faces. We know who you are. I don't need to connect you with George fucking 24601 on your loyalty card. I no longer need to give you loyalty points.
420 or whatever.
That was the trade-off.
gmail.com.
I give fart dealer 420, posh puppy 69. I no longer need to give you points, right?
Yeah.
That's a transaction. You give me your data, and I give you some little stipend loyalty points. It's 3 times a year. It adds up to $10 or whatever it is. But I need to give you something in order for you to give me that data, right? That costs a gigantic amount of money across these loyalty programs at these supermarkets. You times that out across millions of people shopping in these stores every day between Coles and Woolies. That's whatever it is, 80, 90% of the market. It's almost everyone that exists in Australia, right? It's got to be, I think Aldi maybe has a 20% share, something like that. So you're talking at least, whatever it is, 70% is Coles and Woolies that own everything countrywide with regards to your grocery shop. If they can save each a piece $5 million, $10 million a year in terms of the loyalty points and other stuff that they have to pay out, because if they've got facial recognition technology, they go, well, we know it's George. We can tie all of his purchases directly to his account because we have his fucking face. Why would we give him loyalty points or discounts or whatever? We would only give him just as much as we need to get him in the store and not a single red cent more, right? So, you know,
what we're saying is we're all in agreement then that the excuse about shop safety is bullshit and it's
absolute
really just
horseshit. Obvious, transparent, absolute, obvious horseshit. They don't give a and you know they don't give a fuck about their employees because of the way that they constantly treat them, putting them in harm's way in front of people who are enraged about whatever it is that these fucking companies are doing, whether it's the fucking iPads on the trolleys now, or whether it's the proliferation of the self-checkout, right? You've got all of these people waiting to go. They've got 4 things of groceries. There's 3 lanes open. All these other lanes are closed. And then there's just like half a dozen people kind of like shepherding people through the self-checkout. And it's like, why not just have these fucking people
9
working the
registers
registers, and then we could actually fucking get people with big loads of groceries through.
I'm sorry.
They're not interested in that.
iPads in the shopping carts?
You haven't seen
that what
these?
you
It's
said
an
before?
iPad, so it's like
No.
a scan and go fucking... I'm just like, there's something about it that immediately just repulses me. It's like, I don't need to fucking scan it.
I'm so confused.
Well, this is why. Is because people hate having to then line up at the overstocked lanes to check out with a big
Right.
shop. So what you do is you load up your trolley with stuff, you scan it as you put it in the trolley, and then you can go through the self-checkout. And so they don't need to open another lane. It's all about squeezing every red cent, firing every single possible employee that they can, so they don't have to spend money on wages, so they can add a little bit, 1 more cent to their bottom line. That's all it's about.
Of the shareholders.
Won't someone think of the shareholders? That's all it's
Maximise
about.
Value.
They don't give a fuck about their employees. If they could automate all their employees tomorrow with a click of their fingers and it not impact their margins, they would do it. And what they're aiming for is to become that Amazon shop where you go in, you scan, everything gets scanned, you just pull stuff off the store, you don't even pay for anything, it just gets charged off to your account.
Yeah.
No
Not even a
discounts, no
person
nothing.
Involved.
No people involved. All robots to fucking stock and restock the shelves. That's what they want it to become. They want it to become a completely faceless grocery retrieval entity. And honestly, the whole thing makes me sick. The facial recognition stuff makes me sick. I think Coles and Woolies are obviously not testing this because they just doing a little test to see like is facial recognition cool. They're obviously doing it because they want to do this.
Because they want to roll it out. Yeah.
And the fact that we have such a consolidated market here in Australia, whether it's hardware with Bunnings or whether it's groceries here between Coles and Woolies, the effective duopoly, the fact that they have such a market, but don't fucking wind me up, Adam.
Yeah.
You fucking wanted to do the show, Malaka. This is what you get. The fact that they've got such a consolidated duopoly means that we, the consumers, get squeezed.
Yes.
Okay, we're the ones that are always worse off because if you can't go to Coles and you can't go to Woolies, where are you going to go? Fucking Aldi, the bananas are weird. Like,
Are the bananas weird at Aldi?
I've been in
or
there
is
several
that-
times. The bananas are fucking bashed up, bro. Those are some busted ass bananas. They got, I don't know what the fuck they're doing to their bananas, man. Multiple times I've been into Aldi for other things.
There's
and
also
the bananas
another
are
argument around
the fuck up.
The way Coles and Woolies have changed our perception of what fresh produce actually looks like, but that's another
100%.
story.
No, these bananas were cooked. No, this is not just me having weird standards. These bananas were busted.
I
Anyways.
kind of want to just go into an Aldi and look at some
What do they do? Do they
bananas
throw
now.
these fucking things down the stairs? What do they do to these bananas?
Look, speaking of bananas, One Nation are back in the news. This
Hey, you did
week.
it.
Let's end on a high.
And David Farley, who's the first lower house candidate for One Nation, I think ever.
And an absolute intellectual,
Elected
yeah,
MP.
first elected. Yeah, that's right, MP.
and an absolutely intellectual giant, from what everyone around him has said. So
Yeah. And we said at the time, this would be a little. We'll see how he goes with his agreements with Pauline Hanson, because Pauline Hanson is famously hard to, I guess,
get along with if you have a brain.
Yeah, and
I,
that he
I
kind of
think
had
maybe
been
I'm going to stay
shopping-
quiet on the Pauline Hanson segment because our video when I said that Pauline Hanson was stupid is still getting views weeks later and people are still sending me mean messages. So I think I'm just going to stay a little bit stum on the Pauline Hanson stuff. But
Honestly, don't know what you expected, George. Isn't
she
this
sucks,
the goal?
man. She sucks.
What he wanted.
Yeah,
Tom,
I
what
thought
did
that-
David Farley say?
Well, I thought also the thing about David Farley, I thought some context in this as well, was that we talked about prior to his election that he was kind of a person who'd kind of shopped around parties, right?
Correct.
So he's not just someone who's come out to be like, bloody Pauline tells it like it is, and I want to be a member of the party. Like, he'd approached other political parties being like, do I have a home here? Do I have a home there? So he's clearly not, I don't mean that in a, what a genius man. Like, someone shopping around their political beliefs is also a bit concerning, but it just means that
Someone who has no principles being
Yeah,
your representative in Parliament. Yeah, cool.
Yeah, but he's clearly not just a ride or die hard One Nation person.
And what do you guys, cigarette lobby? What do you guys got for me? You got anything for me? I could be a cigarette guy. What about fossil fuels? You guys got anything? I could be a fossil fuel guy. What's on offer? What do you got?
So, what happened this week was David Farley was talking to ABC insiders and said he described One Nation's soon to, like, not quite properly like announced, I believe, policies on migration cuts were on footing, quote, not too different to the government's. Which, yeah.
David Spears just goes, incorrect.
Whoa, or David
Sorry,
Spears.
David. That's not what you meant.
I think it's more David Spears just goes, come again?
Yeah.
Like, hang on, what? So, yeah.
Sorry,
what,
just to get this right. So what you're saying is,
Yeah, what Farley sort of talked about was that, because the Labor government there's been a bit of drama in the background where, like, they were about to announce how the Labor government was going to cut migration, because they've said that they are, but then they backed out of actually kind of announcing it, and we're still kind of wondering, okay, so what is it then? But it's been reported as their target is about 225,000 entrants in by about 2028. So what David Farley said,
basically more or less what it fucking has been historically.
what it maybe has been, yeah. So what David Farley talked about was that he said One Nation was not going to seek to cut migration rates deeper than about 230,000, based on some maths of the migration target would be a net overseas migration rate of about 130,000 people plus, quote, a minimum 100,000 skilled workers under established visa schemes. So
Right, because if we didn't do that, it would break the fucking economy.
It would break
So,
the
like,
economy.
yeah.
So anyway, the key point here is that you have an elected member of One Nation saying, our policy on migration is about the same as the Labour government. Which,
the bat signal goes up in Pauline's house. It's a red wig.
yeah, just fucking, just a house in Queensland.
Please explain.
Catches fire. It's
Yeah.
just like out of the rage. So quickly after
She sits
this-
bolt upright from her coffin. Ugh!
yeah, just like Nosferatu.
Someone was being not racist somewhere.
Rises out of a coffin. So she only like hours after this comment was made, Pauline took to social media to qualify that the One Nation's policy was to, quote, cut net overseas migration to 130,000, and that the party's target was, quote, less than half Labour's current level.
Yeah,
so
but
she was
that's what he said.
yeah. He said net
they
overseas
say-
migration down to 130,000. That's what he said. But she was quick to be going, no, we're kicking out way more foreigners than Labour. No, Jesus.
Less
Is
than
this
half of
is this
Labour's
before
current
or
level
after
of
she starts?
300,000.
She would. This is before or after she would start repossessing people's homes when she's kicking them out of the country if they don't sell them within.
We'd have to ask Barnaby.
We'll have to ask Barnaby on the
about
details of
one.
that. I think he's up to date now.
But Barnaby would need to go check with someone and then have to issue a correction later in the interview after he's finished telling his dog to sit down.
Sit down!
And yeah, Farley also went into some more details of of just people asking him about like how he got to his numbers. He was quoted as saying that the raw number is not too different. That's where the not too different comment comes from. But he sort of went on to talk about those 100,000 skilled migrants in areas that they need, saying we don't need them in the great urban metroplex. I've never heard the term metroplex before.
Is that DCU? Is that
yeah.
Metroplex?
Yeah.
Is that between
Yes.
Metropolis and Cosmopolis?
Yeah, is that where Superman's from?
I think so.
But no, we need them to be. We need them out to be productive, working out in agriculture, engineering, mining, etc. Anyway,
I don't
rattle off all of
I
One
don't
Nation's points.
disagree with him to a certain extent.
I mean,
like,
sure.
We
yes.
have a
Where the skill
population.
shortage-
Yes, the
shortages are.
famously productive agriculture industry.
Well,
Notorious for being a high productivity industry. It is agriculture.
The point being is that there are skilled labour shortages in regional areas, and Australia does have
Because those jobs
a
suck and
population-
white people don't want to work them. So we
Well,
need to get
yeah.
poor people from overseas in order
But also,
to bring them over here and do them.
skilled labour in regional areas
Yeah.
is also an issue, not just basic low-paid labour.
Sure.
Australia does have a population distribution problem. We're all capital
Sure.
city based. We need to spread out. But
That's where all
as
the
you said,
opportunity is, though.
yes, that's a.
If you come to
yeah,
this country and you're going to go, I want to go to the absolutely rotting,
Broken Hill.
I'm going to head out to Wodonga, which is just dying so slowly.
Wodonga's lovely.
I don't know,
get
whatever.
me wrong.
But I just picked a rural area off the top of my head. Wodonga might be fine, but you know what I mean. It's like,
Yeah.
are you going to go to exactly Broken Hill or some other rural, inland regional area which is dying a slow death, or are you probably going to go to one of the regional centres where all the jobs and all the housing is? Like, probably.
And that's a large conversation about the government's role in that, right? But the thing that I found funny about this is that, as you said, Tom, Labor was going to announce something, has held off. The Liberals have been cooking something up, and have been sort of
The cookers have been cooking.
have been carefully crafting a policy. It's basically like this sort of arms race where no one really wants a Cold War, where no one really wants to
be the first one.
Well, they're both trying to react to One Nation's. One Nation's very, very, very vocal about it, as Pauline said. It's 130. They're both the coalition and Labor are trying to craft an immigration policy that will
responds
negate,
to the far right xenophobic One
Correct.
Nation's crackdown on him.
but not
and
so
by-
much.
and
But not
by
so much
accepting
responders
that-
in. Not so much responders in like tell them that they're wrong, but sort
No,
of
they want to accept their
nullify it.
framing. They just want
wanna
to.
nullify it.
They want to nullify the political gains that she's making as a result of it by moving
Yeah.
closer to her position, which, as we know, works perfectly every time.
Yeah.
Just ask Neville Chamberlain. Appeasement always works.
Yeah, if we just capitulate to the fascists, it'll be fine.
Give a bit of the Rhineland. Do we need all this Rhineland? It's fine.
As we discussed last week, there are like this concept of like reducing immigration, that somehow the reason why there's a housing crisis is because we have too many immigrants, is fucking ludicrous to me. Because if you reduce migration too much, we are going to have a fucking recession.
Yeah, you'll break the economy. Like
And-
quite easily.
Now you might argue is a small like we're kind of already in a recession. Like how bad would the recession be? Like there are questions you can ask around that. But like at the end of the day, there are particular industries in this country that need skilled labor,
Yeah.
and we need people coming in. There's also a question of demographic collapse with an aging population. There are lots of things at play here.
Who's going to
The
run
way-
Sue's 96-year-old Susan's fucking algorithm if not for, a young Indian woman from the subcontinent somewhere, right? Like,
Well, whatever the case
who's going to
may
be wiping asses? It's not going to be 40-year-old white guys getting paid $18 an hour to do it, right? So
The way migration has been weaponized as being directly responsible for people's living conditions in Australia is it's just one of the great lies.
as though having underpaid labor from elsewhere in the world coming here and performing the jobs that we want to do isn't a massive fucking lifestyle subsidy for each and every one of us.
Yeah.
Do you know how much they'd have to pay a fucking fruit picker to get a white guy from Dandenong to go out and pick fruit? It'd be a fuck of a lot more. Your grocery shop would be a lot fucking more than it is now. If your apples, if your fucking tomatoes and your vegetables weren't getting picked at slave labor rates, you complain about your grocery shop now, your grocery shop would fucking double if we had to pay living wages and
so-
have regular workplace standards for all these fucking things.
Where I'm going with this is, no matter how they try to math it, this is the thing that Labor and Liberals are really like they can math it however they want. People don't it's not going to work. Like people aren't going to listen to it. It's not going to resonate with people. People aren't looking at the breakdown of calculations of how many what's the difference between people don't even understand the difference between net overseas migration and skilled labor migration and temporary visas. No one understands any of that.
No, and they
That
don't
is
care
the
to.
reason
All
why,
they do is
why
it's a bunch of
One
it's a
Nation
bunch of fucking racist white people going, "It's too many fucking browns." All of a sudden, I see my fucking neighbors. It's fucking Indians. Fucking. I hear people say things like people I know in my family would say it's all fucking Chinese here now, and it used to be like this. It used to be Wogs. It used to be Greeks, and now it's all the fucking dirty Chinese. That's how they think. They don't know about numbers. They don't. If you ask them. Tell me what the net overseas migration number is. They wouldn't know. They wouldn't be able to tell you. You could halve it, you could double it. They wouldn't fucking know what it is. These people don't know. They just hate people of color existing around them, and they don't like it, and they want things to go back to the way they were before. That's all there is to it.
Yeah. There is, migration should be a lever the government can pull and craft as they
It's
will
part of a
to meet the
Policy
economic needs of
framework,
the day.
right? Yeah, it's a lever.
But I think what both the coalition and Labor would be better off doing is not even stick with the current policy, which is about 230,000, but it's about framing it and trying to tell a story. And I don't feel like with the way they've started to put the feelers out on some of these policies, they're not doing that. They're just shouting numbers into the void, which is
they're
why
not interested. They're running scared from the issue.
Which
They're
is why
scared of
David
Pauline Hanson's framing.
Farley is. This is why Pauline has reacted to David Farley's comments, because it's not so much about the numbers he said were actually technically correct. It's just the way it was framed.
No, we're the racist jingoistic party that wants to cut migration. That's our whole value proposition, David. Shut the fuck up.
Anyway, Yeah, I
Remember when I
find
said I
them-
was going to be quiet during the Pauline part? Just not possible. Not humanly possible for me.
We all knew it wasn't true.
No.
George.
So, yeah, the migration debate, it's not over. It's going to continue to be, I think, a key talking point for the next year or two, I
Yeah.
reckon.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to be the big thing going into the next election, particularly with One Nation's like rise and all that sort of stuff. And the problem with that being, yeah, exactly right, that no one is getting into the weeds of the numbers or any of that sort of stuff. It is just there is a rhetoric going around of just we need fewer migrants is like the One Nation line, and they're going our number is less than their number. Fuck the details.
You know
Which
what
cuts
drives
through.
me crazy, bro,
Yeah.
is that the Italians and Greeks, right? People I know in my family will also have this far right anti-immigration stance, as though they 1 generation ago weren't the immigrants that
Everyone hated.
that
quote unquote.
that everyone hated 1 generation ago. Filthy Itais, filthy fucking Greeks with their disgusting greasy fucking food, fucking disgusting wogs, all this sort of stuff. That was how they talked about us 1 generation during your lifetime, elder. And now you're turning around and saying the exact same fucking shit about whoever the last fucking bloke in the door was. Do you not recognize how that works? That's just, now we're assimilated, quote unquote, assimilated. We speak English, everything's all fucking good. We're not too dark. Okay? So we pass. That fucking Indian guy, though, or that Chinese or that Muslim guy, that's no good. They're different. They can't assimilate. Were you fucking assimilated? What does assimilation mean anyway? Who cares if you're assimilated? Do you obey the law? Do you pay taxes? Okay, good. Fucking live your life.
great.
Why does it matter if you assimilate into whatever my idea of fucking cultural white Australia is? Like, it's just so backwards and disgusting.
I don't keep up with the cricket scores. I don't care whether you assimilate.
Live your life.
or not.
Who are these people who are so fucking concerned about other people's fucking lives? Mind your own fucking business, you nosy
Yeah.
pricks.
I feel
Speaking of assimilation.
Yeah, so people maybe have been giving George the gumption lately. Are you okay,
Been at a
George?
few too many family barbecues where he's been triggered.
It just gives me the shits, man, because it's like, where is the full-throated leftist, the Labour of 20 years ago that would have got, and I don't hear this defense of like someone standing up and saying, I know that there's problems in our policy settings that maybe we can adjust, but I want to get on the front foot and say migrants are fucking good for our country. Okay? People coming here and bringing new ideas, new cultures, new languages, new foods. Diversity is a strength. It makes us better. It makes us more resilient. In the face of an aging population, we absolutely fucking need these people to bring dynamism into our economy. We need consumers. We need, skills and labor, and we need new ideas. These people bring a wealth of experience and endeavor with them, and we should be fighting hand over fist to get people like that to our country. We should be so fucking lucky that industrious, hardworking people want to come to our country, and they will fight tooth and nail. And they'll come and they'll go, okay, I'll come if I study engineering. Will you let me come if I study engineering? I'll go, yeah, well, you can come if you study engineering. And they go, fuck yeah, I'll come. I'll study fucking anything to come to Australia. We should be so fucking lucky to have those people here, man. And it makes us better as a country to have them here. Why do I not hear that full-throated defense of a multicultural Australia anywhere on our political landscape? It actually brings me to tears as the son of immigrants on both sides, to not hear that full-throated defense from anywhere on the political spectrum right
Because
now.
you might piss
It
off
makes
the
me
base.
very upset.
You might piss off the base a little bit and lose a few percentage points. Yeah, look, it's one of those things. It's Labor's small target thing. They just don't want to piss anyone off until they have to.
Yeah,
Alas.
it's cowardly.
Coward.
It's cowardice.
It's not really leadership, is it? But yeah, speaking of assimilating, you've been assimilating into our ears for the last hour and
Don't
18
love that.
minutes.
On that note, we always will be our natural
Yeah, no, that
selection.
makes sense.
Make sure-
They've been
please stop.
assimilating.
Please stop.
Into,
Please stop.
They've been assimilating
Please stop.
into our
We've
Please
been
stop.
assimilating into their
Please stop.
ears.
Please
Yeah,
stop.
it's the
No,
other way
George.
around.
Please
George,
stop.
it's very
Other way
important
around.
we
Please
get to
stop.
the bottom of this.
Please stop.
I need
Please
to
stop.
understand.
Please stop.
How does
Please stop.
you assimilate?
Please
And
stop.
even
Can I mute
people
Tom?
even people listening to us, like we're
I know.
I muted him.
We've
I muted
assumed
both ears. On that note, we have been, we are, and we always will be our Natural Selection. Make sure you visit us at our salubrious home on the web, ournaturalshow.com. Make sure you follow us on all the bullshit social media that have, do, whatever will exist at our handle at Unnatural Show. That's Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, and motherflipping TikTok. Make sure you follow me on TikTok and Instagram at George Tibos.
You can follow me on Threads at tom.heath.
you can follow me into your ear holes while I will assimilate.
No, god damn it.
into your stream of consciousness.
Don't assimilate into my holes anymore. Thanks for listening, guys. I love your faces. We'll see you next week.
I think we need to find a way to also have a mute button, Adam.
for George. Yeah.
I am
Yeah.
the captain now.
Yeah.
No. Can we, is there a vote up button in
There is not.
this software?
A vote?
A
We
vote
can